Have you ever felt like you're drowning in stress, as if the weight of the world is pressing down on your shoulders, leaving you gasping for air? We've all been there. Those moments when life feels like an unending storm, when every challenge looms like a mountain too steep to climb. The deadlines, the heartaches, the uncertainties, they pile up, threatening to overwhelm us. But let me share a simple yet profound truth that can transform your perspective. Don't let stress define you. Everything in life is temporary. The storms pass, the clouds part, and the sun rises again. The real challenge isn't the situation you're facing, it's how you choose to respond to it. Today, I invite you to join me on a heartfelt journey, exploring 6 powerful keys to letting go of stress, embracing the natural rhythm of life, and living fully in the present moment. Through stories, reflections, and practical wisdom, let's discover how to find peace, cultivate resilience, and unlock the joy that's waiting for you right now. 1. Change is the heartbeat of life. We all crave certainty, don't we? We wake up each morning hoping the day will unfold as planned, that our routines will hold steady, and that life will feel predictable and secure. We want our relationships to stay harmonious, our jobs to remain stable, and our world to feel under control. But life has a way of reminding us that the only constant is change. It's not something to fear. It's the very pulse of existence, the force that drives growth, transformation, and evolution. Think about your own life. Every day, you're changing in ways both subtle and profound. The cells in your body are regenerating, your thoughts are evolving, and your experiences are shaping you into someone new. The world around you is in constant motion too. Seasons shift from spring's vibrant blooms to autumn's golden decay. Tides ebb and flow with the moon's gentle pull. Technology races forward, reshaping how we connect, work, and live. Change is woven into the fabric of life itself. It's the rhythm that keeps the world alive. Now, picture a mighty oak tree, its roots anchored deep in the earth, its branches reaching for the heavens. This tree doesn't fight the seasons. When autumn strips its leaves or winter's icy winds howl, it doesn't resist or despair. It adapts, trusting that spring will bring new growth, summer will offer warmth, autumn will allow it to let go, and winter will provide rest. Each season has a purpose, and the tree flows with this cycle, understanding that change is not a threat but a vital part of its existence. Your life is like that tree. You might be in a season of flourishing where everything feels aligned. Your career is thriving, your relationships are strong, and your plans are unfolding beautifully. Or perhaps you're in a winter of loss, disappointment, or uncertainty, where the world feels cold and barren. Whatever season you're in, know this, it will pass. Just as the tree doesn't cling to its leaves in autumn, you don't have to cling to what's slipping away. Change is your teacher, guiding you toward growth and transformation. Reflect on a time when you resisted change. Maybe it was a relationship that ended, leaving you heartbroken and unwilling to let go. Perhaps it was a job that no longer fulfilled you, but you stayed out of fear of the unknown. Or maybe it was a habit. Staying up too late, procrastinating, or avoiding tough conversations that kept you stuck. Holding on felt like fighting a river's current, didn't it? The more you resisted, the more exhausted you became. But when you finally let go, when you surrendered to the flow, something shifted. You found freedom, clarity, and new possibilities. Change isn't your enemy. It's your ally, shaping you into the best version of yourself, one moment, one lesson, one season at a time. So how do you embrace change in your daily life? Start small. The next time something disrupts your plans, a delayed flight, a sudden change in schedule, or an unexpected challenge, pause. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that change is part of life's rhythm. Instead of fighting it, ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? By shifting your perspective, you transform resistance into resilience, stress into opportunity. Try keeping a change journal. where you note one change each day, big or small, and write down how it helped you grow. Over time, you'll see change not as a threat but as a gift, guiding you toward a richer, more meaningful life. 2. Everything is temporary. Let's talk about those moments when life feels overwhelming, when the challenges seem so big they block out the sun. Maybe it was a heartbreak that left you feeling shattered, a job loss that shook your sense of security, or a time when you hit rock bottom and couldn't see a way out. In those moments, it felt like the world was ending, didn't it? Like the pain would last forever. But here you are today, reading this, stronger and wiser. Those moments passed, and so will the ones you're facing now. Think back to your school days. Remember how a single exam or grade felt like it held your entire future in its hands. You stayed up late, stressed and anxious, convinced that one test would define your life. But years later, can you even recall the details of that exam? What felt so massive then has faded into the background, barely a memory. Those moments were temporary, just like the challenges you're navigating today. Life's difficulties are like clouds drifting across a clear sky. They come, they linger, and then they move on. The bills piling up, the deadlines closing in, the pressure mounting, they're all fleeting. They're not your entire story, just a chapter. And like any chapter, they have an end. When you embrace this truth, you loosen stress's grip. You stop trying to control the uncontrollable and start trusting that brighter days are ahead. Let me share a story. My friend Sarah went through a devastating divorce a few years ago. At the time, it felt like her world had collapsed. She couldn't imagine a future without the life she'd built with her partner. The pain was all-consuming. She lost sleep, her confidence waned, and she felt like she'd never smile again. But over time, she started to see that the pain was temporary. She began therapy, reconnected with old friends, and discovered a passion for painting. Today, she's thriving in ways she never imagined, running an art class for kids and finding joy in her newfound independence. Her story is a reminder that even the darkest moments don't last forever, they're just a season, and seasons change. To practice this in your own life, try this simple exercise. The next time stress creeps in, grab a piece of paper and write down what's worrying you. It could be a work deadline, a financial strain, or a personal conflict. Beside each worry, write, "This is temporary." Seeing it in black and white can shift your perspective, reminding you that these challenges are just a moment in time. Then, write down one thing you've overcome in the past, a breakup, a tough job, a health scare, and reflect on how you survived it. You've made it through every tough moment before, and you'll make it through this one too. Your strength is greater than your struggles, and every challenge is just a passing cloud. Another way to internalize this is through visualization. Close your eyes and picture your worries as leaves floating down a river. They drift by, carried away by the current, leaving the water clear and calm. This mental image can help you let go, trusting that your challenges will pass just as those leaves do. By reminding yourself that everything is temporary, you free yourself to focus on the present where your power lies. 3. Stress is a choice. Here's a truth that might catch you off guard. Stress isn't something that happens to you, it's something you choose. I know that sounds bold, even unfair, but hear me out. Stress isn't caused by the situation itself, but by how you interpret and respond to it. Two people can face the same challenge. One falls apart, spiraling into panic, while the other moves through it with calm and clarity. The difference, their choice. Picture this: you're driving to an important meeting and you hit a traffic jam. Your heart starts racing, your mind spirals with worries about being late, and you feel the stress building like a pressure cooker. You clench the steering wheel, frustrated, maybe even cursing the cars around you. In that moment, you have a choice. You can let the situation overwhelm you, fueling frustration and panic, or you can take a deep breath and choose a different response. What if you use that time to listen to a favorite podcast, enjoy some music, or simply be present, noticing the rhythm of your breath? The traffic hasn't changed, but your experience of it has. You've taken control. Every time you stress, you're handing power to the situation. You're saying, "This is too big for me, I can't handle it." But here's the truth: you're never overwhelmed by the situation itself. You're overwhelmed by your thoughts about it. Your mind creates the narrative. Take a work project with a tight deadline. Your first thought might be, "This is impossible, I don't have enough time, I'm going to fail." Those thoughts fuel feelings of overwhelm, which fuel stress. But what if you change the story? What if you told yourself, "I've tackled tough challenges before, I'll break this down step by step and find a way"? By shifting the narrative, you shift the experience. You reclaim your power. Let's look at another example: a disagreement with a friend. It's easy to get caught up in anger or defensiveness, feeling like the situation is causing your stress. You might replay the argument, convincing yourself they're wrong, you're right, and the whole thing is a disaster. But pause and ask, what am I choosing to focus on right now? Am I choosing to be angry, or can I choose to stay calm and listen? Stress feels automatic, but it's a product of your mental patterns. The moment you realize this, you gain the power to let it go. You can choose peace even in the midst of chaos. I once knew a colleague, Tom, who faced a high-stakes presentation at work. He was terrified, convinced he'd forget his lines or embarrass himself. His stress was palpable. He was short-tempered, distracted, and couldn't sleep. But a mentor gave him a simple piece of advice: focus on what you can control. Tom shifted his focus from worrying about the outcome to preparing thoroughly and staying present. During the presentation, he took deep breaths, connected with the audience, and let go of the need to be perfect. The result: he nailed it, not because the situation changed, but because he chose calm over stress. Here's a practical tip. The next time stress starts to build, try the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. Name 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste. This pulls you back to the present, interrupting the stress cycle and reminding you that you have a choice in how you respond. Another approach is to ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Often you'll realize the stakes aren't as high as your mind makes them out to be. Stress isn't in charge. You are. Your mind creates the drama. Our minds are master storytellers, but they don't always tell the truth. A missed call, a delayed email, a vague comment, suddenly your mind is spinning a tale. Why haven't they responded? Did I upset them? Are they ignoring me? Before you know it, a minor moment has snowballed into a full-blown crisis, all because your mind filled in the blanks with assumptions and worst-case scenarios. Think about a time you replayed a conversation in your head, dissecting every word, imagining what the other person was thinking. Maybe it was a casual remark from a coworker that you turned into evidence they don't like you. Or perhaps a friend's short text made you worry they were upset. That's your mind creating drama, turning a simple exchange into a saga. Or consider a job interview. You've prepared for weeks, but as the day nears, your mind whispers, "What if I freeze? What if they don't like me? What if I fail?" An opportunity becomes a terrifying ordeal, not because of the interview itself, but because of the story your mind is weaving. Let me tell you about my friend Mark, who once spent days agonizing over a short email from his boss that read, "We need to talk." His mind spun a tale of being fired, of failure, of disaster. He lost sleep, snapped at his family, and felt sick with worry. When the meeting finally happened, it was about a new project his boss wanted him to lead, a promotion, not a punishment. The drama was entirely in his head, built from a single vague sentence. Here's the liberating truth: you don't have to buy into the drama. Your thoughts are not facts, they're just thoughts. They're like clouds passing through the sky of your mind, fleeting and insubstantial unless you grab hold of them. The next time your mind starts spinning a story, pause and ask, is this true? Is this helpful? Do I need to believe this? Step back, observe your thoughts without judgment, and let them pass. When you stop feeding the drama, it loses its grip. You see the situation for what it is, a moment, not a catastrophe. Try this practice, keep a thought journal. When you feel stressed, write down the story your mind is telling you. For example, my friend didn't reply, so they must be mad at me. Then next to it, write the facts, what you know to be true, not what you're assuming. Maybe the fact is, my friend hasn't replied yet. This helps you separate reality from the drama, giving you clarity and calm. Another approach is to challenge your thoughts with evidence. If you're worried your boss is upset, ask yourself, what evidence do I have? Did they say something specific, or am I assuming? Often, you'll find the drama is built on shaky ground. You can also practice mindfulness to tame your mind's storytelling. Spend a few minutes each day sitting quietly, focusing on your breath. When thoughts arise, notice them without getting caught up in the story. Label them, thinking, worrying, planning, and let them go. Over time, this builds your ability to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. You become the director of your mind's narrative, not its captive audience. 5. The power of the present moment. How often do you find yourself stuck in the past or worrying about the future? Replaying old conversations or mentally rehearsing potential problems. It's a habit we all fall into, but it pulls us away from the only moment that truly exists right now. The past is gone, a collection of memories you can't change. The future is uncertain, a realm of possibilities you can't control. The present is where life unfolds, where you have the power to act, connect, and find joy. Imagine you're at a coffee shop with a friend, but your mind is elsewhere, rethinking a morning argument or stressing about tomorrow's to-do list. You're physically there, holding a warm coffee cup, but you're missing the moment. The sound of your friend's laughter, the buzz of the cafe, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Now think of a time you were truly present, maybe playing with your kids, hiking in nature, or lost in a hobby you love. In those moments, time slows down and life feels vibrant, alive, and full of possibility. That's the magic of the present. Let's make it practical. Picture yourself driving to work, your mind racing with worries about deadlines, meetings, or emails you haven't sent. You're physically behind the wheel, but mentally you're miles away, already drained before the day begins. Now contrast that with a moment of presence, say, cooking dinner. When you focus on the sizzle of the pan, the scent of garlic, the rhythm of chopping vegetables, you find peace in the process. You're not rushing to the next task, you're fully engaged in this one. That's living in the now. Here's a story to illustrate. My cousin Emily used to spend her mornings scrolling through social media, bombarded with news, notifications, and endless noise. She'd start her day stressed, disconnected from the world around her, her mind already racing with worries. One day, she decided to unplug for the first hour of her morning. Instead of scrolling, she sat with her coffee, noticing the steam rising, the birds chirping outside, the quiet of the moment. That small shift changed her entire day. She felt grounded, calm, and ready to face whatever came. Over time, this became her daily ritual, a reminder that the present is where peace lives. Try this, set a timer for 5 minutes and focus on being fully present. Notice your breath, the feel of your chair, the sounds around you. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back. This practice trains you to live in the now, where stress loses its power and life feels vibrant. Another approach is to engage your senses throughout the day. When you eat, savor the flavors. When you walk, feel the ground beneath your feet. When you talk to someone, listen fully without planning your response. These small acts of presence add up, transforming how you experience life. You can also try a no-phone zone for an hour each day. Put your device away and focus on the world around you. The smile of a stranger, the rustle of leaves, the warmth of the sun. By unplugging from distractions, you open yourself to the richness of the present. The present is enough. It's where your power lies, where you can create, connect, and find joy. 6. Life is bigger than your problems when problems pile up. A strained relationship, financial worries, a career setback, it's easy to feel like they define your life. They loom large, casting a shadow over everything else, making you believe they're all that matters. But here's the truth: life is infinitely bigger than your problems. They're just a small piece of a vast, beautiful tapestry, a single note in the symphony of your existence. Think about the toughest moment you've faced. Maybe a failed relationship that left your heart in pieces, the loss of a loved one that felt like losing a part of yourself, or a health scare that shook you to your core. At the time, it felt all-consuming, like the world was crumbling around you, but you're here now, aren't you? You survived, grew, and moved forward. That challenge was just a moment, not your entire story. In the grand scheme, it was a temporary hurdle, not a wall. Look at nature for perspective. Mountains stand tall despite centuries of storms, their peaks enduring wind, rain, and time. Oceans flow on, unbothered by the ripples on their surface. Stars burn brightly, indifferent to our earthly worries, shining with the energy of billions of years. Your problems, no matter how heavy, are just ripples in the vast ocean of life. They're real and they matter, but they're not the whole picture. I once met a woman named Clara who faced a layoff after 15 years at her company. At first, she was devastated, convinced her career was over. The financial strain was real and the uncertainty was terrifying. But she took a step back and decided to see the bigger picture. She enrolled in a course she'd always wanted to try, teaching, and discovered a passion for working with kids. Today, she runs a community program, bringing joy to children and finding fulfillment she never imagined. Her problem was real, but it was temporary, and it led her to a bigger, more meaningful life. Here's a practical exercise. When a problem feels overwhelming, write down 3 things you're grateful for that exist outside the problem. It could be a loved one's smile, a beautiful sunset, a kind gesture from a stranger. This shifts your focus to the bigger picture, reminding you that life is full of beauty and possibility, even in tough times. Another approach is to zoom out mentally. Imagine your life as a movie. Your current problem is just one scene, not the entire film. What's the next scene? What possibilities lie ahead? By focusing on the bigger story, you shrink your problems and expand your perspective. Let's consider another example: heartbreak. When a relationship ends, it can feel like the end of the world. You replay every moment, wondering what went wrong, convinced you'll never love again, but life keeps moving. The sun rises, seasons change, and new opportunities emerge. That heartbreak is a chapter, not the whole book. Years from now, you'll look back and see it as a moment of growth, a stepping stone to a stronger, wiser you. Your problems are not your life. They're part of the journey, but they don't define it. Life is the sum of your experiences, the people you meet, the love you give and receive, the lessons you learn, the moments of joy and wonder. When you focus on the bigger picture, your problems become stepping stones, not barriers. They're opportunities to learn, grow, and move forward. Embracing the flow of life. Life is like a river. It flows with or without your permission. Fighting the current only exhausts you, leaving you frustrated and drained. But when you let go, when you trust the flow, you find peace and ease. Think of a time when life didn't go as planned: a lost job, an unexpected breakup, a sudden detour. At first, you resisted, clinging to what was, fighting the uncertainty of what's next. But looking back, that moment led you somewhere new, taught you something vital, or made you stronger. That's the flow of life at work. Consider a simple example: getting stuck in traffic. You can fight it, fuming at every red light, blaming the universe for ruining your day. Or you can embrace the moment, listen to a podcast, reflect on something meaningful, or simply breathe deeply. The situation hasn't changed, but your experience has. By surrendering to the flow, you free yourself from stress and move through life with grace. Let me share a story. My neighbor James once lost a job he loved due to company downsizing. At first, he was angry, resisting the change, convinced his career was over. But he decided to lean into the flow. He took a part-time gig to pay the bills, started exploring new industries, and eventually landed a role in a field he'd never considered: renewable energy. Today, he's passionate about his work and grateful for the unexpected path that led him there. By embracing the flow, he turned a setback into a new beginning. Embracing the flow doesn't mean being passive. It means being present, taking inspired action, and trusting that life is guiding you. Like a river, it may not take you where you expect, but it takes you where you need to go. Nature shows us how. The wind blows without asking, waves crash without hesitation, flowers bloom in their own time. We're part of that same rhythm. When you align with it, you find harmony, seeing opportunities where you once saw problems. Try this: the next time life feels chaotic, pause and say, "This is the flow, I trust it." Take one small action, a walk, a journal entry, a kind word to someone, and let the moment unfold. Trust that every twist and turn is part of your journey, guiding you toward growth and possibility. Another practice is to reflect on past challenges that led to unexpected blessings. Write down one tough moment and the good that came from it. A new friendship, a lesson learned, a strength discovered. This builds trust in the flow, reminding you that life is always working in your favor, even when it's hard to see. Live fully in the now as we stand at this moment, reflecting on the path behind us and the journey ahead. Let's hold on to this truth: life is happening right now. Not in the past you can't change or the future you can't predict, but in this very moment. We often chase a perfect future, waiting for the right job, the right relationship, the right circumstances to be happy. But the future isn't a destination, it's a direction, and the only way to travel it with purpose is to embrace each step, each challenge, each opportunity as it comes. Muhammad Ali said, "Don't count the days, make the days count." Stop waiting for tomorrow's happiness and start living today's. Steve Jobs reminded us that great work comes from loving what you do, from finding joy in the process, not just the outcome. John Lennon put it simply: life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. Don't let the pressure of an uncertain future steal the joy of the present. The present is where you create, connect, and live. Your struggles are not your whole story. As Winston Churchill said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts." Every challenge is an opportunity to rise higher, to uncover strengths you didn't know you had. Les Brown's words ring true: shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. You are capable of more than you imagine, and the only limits are the ones you place on yourself. Tony Robbins reminds us, the only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment. Your potential is limitless, and life is far more magnificent than any obstacle in your way. So as you move forward, carry this with you. Life is bigger than your problems, more beautiful than your fears, and full of possibilities waiting for you to seize. Don't wait for the perfect moment, it doesn't exist. What exists is the power of now, yours to claim. Embrace the flow, trust the journey, and live fully in the present. You have everything you need to create the life you've always dreamed of, right here, right now. Take a moment to reflect. What's one small step you can take today to live more fully in the present? Maybe it's calling a friend to reconnect, taking a walk to clear your mind, or simply pausing to breathe and notice the world around you. Whatever it is, do it with intention, knowing that every moment is a chance to shape your story. You are not your past mistakes or your future worries. You are here now with the power to create a life of purpose, passion, and joy. Embrace the flow, trust in the journey, and let the beauty of life unfold through you.